Well, today, this is what I'm going to flip. I had bought this little stool at the thrift store, and it was either 50 cents or $1. I've taken the tag off from it, obviously. So, and I've also already went around and had staples all the way around. They wasn't really too bad to get out. And I had that old carpet on there. And I have, ouch, there's a staple still left in there. I've already removed the staples. And I think from there, I'm going to start with putting a coat of this Waverly chalk paint in moss. Probably on the legs and here and around here. And that's where I'm going to start with this project. Here is the color. I'll be doing the moss. And you know, if this little stool hadn't had the ugly carpet, indoor, outdoor carpet all over it, they'd have probably had a little more on it. But I was happy with what I paid. I know it wasn't any more than $1, but I'm thinking it was 50 cents. I'd have to go back. I had it in my haul. I'd have to go back and look. If I have time, I'll go back and look and put it on screen. If not, it's okay. But I'm going to give it a good coat. All this and on the sides of this moss. And go from there. Well, I've given it 2 coats of the Waverly moss. And now I'm going on the top with the Waverly plaster color, and I won't have to give this 2 coats. I just need the light color for my decoupage that I'm putting on it. But I'll finish giving this a coat, let it dry, and start with the decoupage. This is the piece that I decided to put on it, and I did cut it down. So I have got it where I want it. Now hopefully I can get this much of it started and not move my paper. I'm just going to get the very bottom of this started. This is Mod Podge that I'm using. I'm going to lay that down very carefully. Drop that. And I'll kind of sand on the edges. And I don't know, I've got that middle piece. I don't know whether to cut that out now or kind of wait and kind of go around it with, I don't know. Well, now I'm going to turn this around. I think maybe I'll wait and then take like an X-Acto knife and go around it. We'll try that. Okay, now I'll start this way. Well, I had to stop real fast. My husband had the backhoe in the backyard. Finally, here it is, May. And my seeds that I started, they're in plants and they're getting straggly and big. And they need to be going into the garden. But we just, with the weather and the wind and him working, it hasn't happened. And he's back there now. And he pulled out 2 big trees that the boreworms or borers, whatever, where they drill those bugs that put holes in your tree and kill them. It done that to 2 of them. So we had to take we had cut them down, but he had to take, oh boy, the stumps out. I hope I'm getting that down right. Anyways, I had to stop and go out there. I wanted to make sure he'd brought up enough compost to mix in. And he has a lot of, we're going to redo the size of the garden. I don't think I'm going quite as big this year. And fixing the backyard where we had to just throw up some fencing to keep the chickens out of there because they love to come in, dig holes, and eat all your plants. Anyways, he's going to make it where we can get the riding lawnmower in there. He's been using a little push mower, but it's kind of broke. So we'd rather have the riding lawnmower because I mow most of the lawn, but I didn't mow the backyard because I couldn't push that little mower. And he didn't really like doing it because it was pretty hard. We bought a little one because we have a little backyard. But he's redoing all that, pulling stumps out. I'm going to put a different fence up. It's putting my compost out. Then as soon as he gets all that done, then we can lay the black. We always use the weed barrier. I love it because I had gardens I had to weed. And by the middle of the summer, I am not keeping up with the weeds. So I love that weed barrier. It has held up really well, keeps the weeds out, the plants grow well. I love it. We'll have to put that all down, and then I can take my plants out and plant them and have a late start on my garden. But I think I do that every year. I think we have a late start every year. All right. Sometimes I go over this when it's still wet, sometimes dry. I think I'm just going to go ahead and go over it with my Mod Podge and wait for it to dry. And then I'll get my little finger sander and go around the edges and cut this middle piece out. And I'm sure I'm going to do something else to it. I mean, it's going to have some distressing, a little bit of distressing and some wax, you know, the way I roll. But I'll finish this up, let it dry, and I'll be back. This is pretty much dried. I mean, it's still wet some, but it's fine to go ahead and use the finger sander on it. I'll probably let the middle dry a little bit more. Make sure it's good and stiff so I can cut that out. I love this finger sander. I think I always say that. Well, I'm going to go on around with this and clean this off real good. Now, I think it's dry enough. I can, oh, that tip's broke on that one. Well, if I can get it started, wouldn't you know it? Still a little wet right in there. It's cutting real easy as long as I get where it's dry. That one little piece right in there was still a little damp. Pull this up. I probably should have not hurried it so fast. Okay. Yeah, it's damp. I'm going to let that dry. That is really pretty wet right there. I'm going to let it dry a little bit, and then I'm just going to, like right here, it is dry. I'll just, well, looks like I'm going to have to go put some more Mod Podge down right in there. Yeah. All right, that's what I'll do the rest of the way, but I want to let that dry a little bit. Well, I took it out to the garage, and I've already started on it. But I took it out to the garage and distressed it some. And now I'm using the Jolie top coat in brown. I'm just kind of putting some age on it. I don't mind getting the edges real good, but this back at the green, I'm kind of wiping back. I don't know if I'm too close to the video or the camera now or not. Get that good on the edges. And wipe back the green. I did not put any clear on it first, so it's soaking in. Not bad, but it's soaking it in. It's just changing the color some. See right in there where it has some Mod Podge on it. Anyways, I'm going to finish doing this all the way around with it. And on the top, I'm not sure, since it is a step stool, if maybe I should probably put a couple of coats of the polyacrylic on there. I'm thinking I should. But I like the color it's turning the green. Kind of blends it more in with this piece of the brush coming out. All right, I'm going to continue on doing this. With this project, I thought I would go ahead and just show you where I start and show you I don't know what I'm doing. I've just laid things out here. I've went and got the shutter, and I do know the back side of the, well, this is actually the back side of the shutter, because you can see that hangers there, and I'm going to have to get rid of some staples because I don't want the front side, because it has that little board that runs up and down to move the shutters back and forth. And I'm not even sure this is what I'm going to do with it, but I'm pretty sure I want a rusty star. So I cut out a star, and I'm going to rust that up to start with because it takes a while. I'm going to use the Dixie Belle. I'm going to rust that up. I think I'll use this pitberry wreath on it. I don't know. I went and found a piece that I had thrifted a long time ago, and it's got to have some kind of a cover on it because it has this, which is kind of fitting, but I don't want it. I just don't want it. And the patina on it is kind of cool, but I like this right in here, but I really don't like this color of red they have on it. But I do like this. But either way, I'm going to have to figure out a way to cover it up. And what I'm going to put on the front, I don't know. I just pulled out a star just in case. And I thought, well, I could go kind of with a patriotic theme. So I have a flag that I had painted and put back. I don't know how it's going to turn out. But I do know I want this rusted, so I'm going to start with that. And then I'm going to have to figure out what color I'm going to paint everything. And what I'm going to put on the front of here. Well, I painted it the Dixie Belle, and then I changed my mind. And I've given it the first coat of Apple Barrel Khaki. It looks more yellow on the video, but it's more of a brownish, it's kind of a taupe-ish, kind of a mushroomy color, actually. So, I changed my mind, and I repainted it. Well, guys, I filmed putting the Dixie Belle, what is the, you know, the base coat, and then first I put the Dixie Belle Rusty Nail on. I put the gray base coat on, let it dry, put another coat of the gray on, and while it was wet, sprayed it with the Dixie Belle patina. And it didn't do anything. I don't know what I do, but I keep trying. I'm not even putting that video in there where I painted it and done it, because it was useless. So, what do? You go grab the cinnamon. That's what I do. Should have done it to start with, because it works. I think I got everything covered. All right, wipe my hands off, get my cinnamon. I need my plate. Get that on there. God, it's kind of hard when you can't pick it up. I'm going to finish this up, and then I'll be back after it dries and see what else, if we need to touch it up some more. Don't you do it, lady. Trying to see which way she's going to jump. Surely she won't jump in it. Get down. She missed it. Now I'm going to go over this black. Man, this really is bumpy in here, but I'm going over this shutter in black. I did take it out to the garage and went over it a little bit with the sander, but I'm not liking the texture it turned out. But it'll be, most of it will be covered, so I'm not going to worry about it. Just going to cover it in some brown wax and call it good. All right, I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to just wipe it back a little bit and let it be drying. The wax be drying on it. All right, I've got my basket, and I'm just going to go over it with this brown. It's the Jolie brown. Just ages it up some. Hopefully I can get everything dried and going so I can put this together. This is taking a while. Not hard, but just time consuming. Giving stuff coats, letting it dry, moving to something else, letting it dry. Now I'm trying to figure out kind of how to finish it up. I'm still waiting on my Mod Podge to dry on my star. And I was going to put this on there, but I decided not to do that. I think I'm just going to leave it to where it kind of like the flowers show. And I just wrapped some homespun material around it. And I'm going to put that there. That'll cover the cutout. That will work for that. I'm trying to figure out how to attach it. I think I'm going to have to drill a little hole here and a little hole there on each side. Mark it where I want it and wire it on there. And I've got to do something with the inside of the basket. I think it'll look cute with some kind of a tag hanging down, but I don't know. It's taken me a while to get all this done. But that's where I'm at so far, just kind of figuring out what to do. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here and that on there. And I'm going to start working about, you know, stuffing my basket with something. Because it's going to need something also. Am I up where you can see the basket, what I'm talking about? And putting little drilling holes right here to wire this on. All right, I put some Sweet Annie in here and stuck this flag in there. It doesn't have to stay that way because after, you know, when I want to take it out, I can take it out and it can go for every day. But I'm having problems. I don't think I really care for the pip berries with the star. I'm not feeling it. I'm thinking I'm just going to leave the pip berries off and just leave the star on there. I might get a little more cinnamon and leave it lighter so it shows up a little more. I'm just not really sure about this one. All right, guys, I'm going to finish this up, and I do believe I'm leaving the pip berries off from it. I just don't care for it. Or maybe get some straight pip berries and kind of run back and forth like this. But I'm going to work with it just a little more and see what I can come up with.